By Matteo Condoluci. Take a listen to what she has to say.
A 5-year-old's word is in court. 5-year-olds are not good witnesses. You know, they don't know how to tell what happens, especially we don't teach 5-year-olds about sex. So they don't really know how to tell us what everything that happened. And then you have a grown man who's a liar and a manipulator. So he said he didn't think that by going to court, it would do anything. Matt would get off, basically, Mateo. And he said the best way to go is that we do a plea with him. And he would not do any jail time, but the good news was that he would be on the sex offender list. And because he knew, I explained to him, I want that man on the sex offender registry because I don't ever want another child to not be believed. If this happens again, I knew it would. I said, I do not want another child to not be believed.
And that's Laura Smith. I mean, she, Christa, I mean, she had to beg and plead for the prosecution to go forward against this man, Condoluci, because her son, who was the victim, was only 5. I would think that a prosecutor would want to jump up and down and figure out a way to get it done. Usually, you have difficulty getting cooperation from victims in these types of cases. Now you've got a victim saying, please do something, prosecute this man, we'll do whatever it takes.
You know, Vinny, I represent a lot of children who've been the victims of abuse, and I will tell you, almost 100% of the time, the adults that were involved, whether it was the adults that witnessed and should have protected or the adults that were the abusers, lie 100% of the time and say that the child who's young and impressionable is making things up. And that's just how these stories go. And that's how they go, whether it is in the criminal context or any other. And prosecutors need to grow some courage. I was going to say something I shouldn't say on TV, because these are the exact kind of cases that prosecutors should be swinging for the fences on, not, you know, cases that are fluff cases. These cases are about children that will be forever affected by what happens to them. They end up oftentimes in bad marriages. They end up abusing their own children. They end up with all sorts of psychological problems and health problems that are related directly to their abuse. And so when you have a prosecutor that doesn't have the courage to do this, maybe this person should not be a prosecutor at all.
Vinny, I remember.
Can't be afraid to lose.
This is. No, Vinny, I was just going to say, I remember, and to this day, when people ask me what were the most important cases I handled as a former federal prosecutor, it is without question the child pornography cases, where so many victims, you know, were 5 and 7 and 6, and they're the most vulnerable. You know, they're the most vulnerable, and they're